Question 2. A park bench is located 16 and 3/4 feet due north of the elm tree. The fountain is located 9.5 feet due south of the same elm tree. What is the distance in feet between the park bench and the fountain? Okay, so guys, this one could have been complicated for you. You could have decided, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm going to add or if I'm going to subtract. But just by looking at the answers, 26 and 1/4, 25 and 1/4, 25 and 2/3, and 26 feet, automatically tells you that that is not a subtraction. Because if you subtract 16 from 9, then you're going to have around 7. And none of your answer choices are even near that. So it's obvious that this is an addition with a fraction. So you set it up. And this is what I taught my students. You have to set it up the way I want it, just because fractions are difficult to understand. You have to do the equal, you have to do the fraction line over here, and then you have to move it over, because we're doing equivalent fractions now. So you're having one set of fractions here, the originals, and then you're going to move over to the left side, and you're going to have fractions there that are equivalent. So now you ask the question, does 2 go into 4? So you're looking for a common denominator, and the first question you ask is one of the denominators now in front of my face, the 4 and the 2, can one of those be the common denominator for both? And yes, it can. And you answer that question by saying, does 2 go into 4? It does. That means that 2, when you multiply it with something, will give you 4. So your common denominator is 4. You move the one that did not have to be changed because you're using 4 as the common denominator. Then you have to get yourself to the 4 so that it'll be equivalent and it'll have common between both fractions. So you get there by doing multiply, multiply. What you multiply on the bottom, you multiply on the top. 2 times 2 is obviously 4, and then what you do on the bottom, you do on the top. 2 times 1 is 2. Now you're in a position that you can add the fractions. 16 plus 9 is 25. 3 and 2 is 5. 5 over 4. We know that this is an improper fraction. So mentally you can ask yourself, how many 4s go into 5? Obviously there's 1. And then you subtract the 4 out, which was the whole, and you have 1 left over, 1/4. Or you can do it this way. You ask yourself, you divide 5 by 4. If you do it this way, in setting up the problem, you do 4 times 1 is 4. Subtract, so you have a remainder of 1. The way you read this is you read it as 1 and then you say 1 over 4. So this is your interpretation of that 5 over 4. You divide the 5 by 4, and then whatever you get, your answer will be 1 and 1 over 4. 1 over 4. Don't forget you have this little thing, this little puppy hanging out over here. You're adding them together, that's 26 and 1/4. That is your answer. F.